Lights are more sensitive to voltage fluctuations than other electrical devices. When the voltage drops, the lights will dim because they require a specific voltage range to operate correctly. Other devices, such as computers and televisions, have built-in voltage regulators that help them tolerate voltage fluctuations. Brownouts can stress sensitive electronics, such as computers, monitors, and televisions. If the voltage drop is severe enough or prolonged, it can damage the internal components of these devices. Brownouts are usually caused by an overload in the electrical system. This can occur when too many devices are running simultaneously or when a large appliance, such as an air conditioner or oven, is turned on. If you experience brownouts, firstly, check the electrical panel to see if any breakers have tripped. Secondly, reduce the number of devices that are running simultaneously. Thirdly, avoid using large appliances during peak hours. Fourthly, consider purchasing a voltage regulator for sensitive electronics. Voltage regulators maintain a steady voltage supply, protecting your devices from voltage dips and surges. A voltage regulator, sometimes called an automatic voltage regulator or AVR, is an electrical apparatus designed to automatically maintain a constant voltage level. And a volts-hour may use a mechatronic mechanism or electrical components. If the input voltage rises or falls, a volts-hour will compensate to maintain a consistent output voltage. There are different types of voltage regulators. Firstly, electromechanical voltage regulators, which use a moving contact on a winding to adjust the voltage ratio. Secondly, solid-state voltage regulators that use semiconductor devices like thyristors or transistors to switch between different taps on a transformer winding. Thirdly, automatic tap-changing transformers are used in power distribution systems to maintain voltage levels. And fourthly, fluorescent voltage regulators, which use a saturated transformer to provide a stable output voltage. Solid-state regulators are generally more accurate and reliable than electromechanical ones. Voltage regulators are essential for protecting sensitive electronic equipment from damage due to voltage fluctuations. These fluctuations can come from a variety of sources. One source is utility grid variations due to changes in load or faults on the grid. Another source is internal wiring problems within a building. Voltage regulators smooth out these variations, ensuring that devices receive a stable power supply. Power surges, voltage spikes, and brownouts can damage electronic components. A voltage regulator can help to prevent this damage, extending the lifespan of electronic devices. Many electronic devices, such as computers and audio equipment, require a stable voltage to operate correctly. Voltage regulators provide this stability, improving the performance of these devices. Some voltage regulators also filter out electrical noise from the power supply. This noise can interfere with the operation of sensitive electronic equipment. Power line conditioners combine voltage regulation with noise filtering and surge suppression. This provides a more comprehensive level of protection for electronic equipment. Voltage regulation is important in many applications. Firstly, in household appliances, voltage regulators protect sensitive electronics from damage. Secondly, in industrial equipment, voltage regulators ensure stable operation and prevent downtime. Thirdly, in telecommunications, voltage regulators maintain stable voltage for critical communication equipment. Fourthly, in renewable energy systems, voltage regulators stabilize the output voltage of solar panels and wind turbines. There are several factors to consider when choosing a voltage regulator. Firstly, the input voltage range. The regulator must be able to handle the variations in the input voltage. Secondly, the output voltage. The regulator must provide the correct voltage for the device being powered. Thirdly, the current rating. The regulator must be able to supply enough current to power the device. Fourthly, the accuracy. The regulator must maintain the output voltage within a certain tolerance. Fifthly, the response time. The regulator must be able to respond quickly to changes in the input voltage. And sixthly, the efficiency. The regulator should be efficient to minimize energy waste. Voltage regulators are rated by their input voltage range, output voltage, and current capacity. Common input voltage ranges include 120 volts, 240 volts, and universal input, which is 90 volts to 264 volts. Common output voltages include 5 volts, 12 volts, 24 volts, and adjustable outputs. Current capacity is measured in amps and ranges from a few milliamps to hundreds of amps. It is important to choose a voltage regulator with a current capacity that is sufficient to power the device being protected. Installing a voltage regulator is relatively simple. Firstly, plug the regulator into a power outlet. Secondly, plug the device being protected into the regulator. Thirdly, turn on the regulator and the device. Some voltage regulators have additional features, such as surge protection and noise filtering. Surge protection protects against voltage spikes caused by lightning or other electrical events. Noise filtering reduces electrical noise from the power supply. Regular maintenance of a voltage regulator is not usually required. However, it is important to keep the regulator clean and free from dust and debris. If the regulator is used in a harsh environment, it may need to be inspected and cleaned more frequently. The lifespan of a voltage regulator depends on the quality of the components and the operating conditions. A good quality voltage regulator can last for many years. Signs that a voltage regulator may be failing include unstable output voltage, overheating, and excessive noise. If a voltage regulator fails, it should be replaced immediately to protect the device being powered. Voltage regulators are available from a variety of sources, including electronics stores, online retailers, and electrical supply companies. The cost of a voltage regulator varies depending on the features, capacity, and quality. A basic voltage regulator can cost as little as $20, while a more sophisticated regulator can cost several $100s. It is important to choose a voltage regulator that is appropriate for the specific application. A voltage regulator for a home entertainment system will be different from a voltage regulator for industrial equipment. Understanding the principles of voltage regulation can help to troubleshoot electrical problems and protect sensitive electronic equipment. Firstly, identify the symptoms of voltage problems such as dimming lights or malfunctioning devices. Secondly, measure the voltage at the outlet to determine if it is within the acceptable range. Thirdly, check the wiring and connections to ensure that they are secure. Fourthly, install a voltage regulator to stabilize the voltage supply. By taking these steps, it is possible to prevent damage to electronic equipment and ensure reliable operation. When experiencing brownouts, several steps can be taken to mitigate the issue and protect your electronics. Checking the electrical panel involves locating the panel, usually in a basement, garage, or utility room. Open the panel door and look for any breakers that are in the trip position, meaning they are not fully in the on or off position. Reset any trip breakers by first switching them fully to the off position and then back to the on position. Reducing the number of devices running simultaneously helps prevent overloading the circuit. Unplug non-essential devices or appliances, especially during peak hours when electricity demand is high. Avoid using large appliances such as air conditioners, washing machines, dryers, and ovens at the same time. Use them sequentially to reduce the strain on the electrical system. Peak hours are typically in the late afternoon and early evening when most people are home and using electricity. Avoiding using large appliances during these times can help prevent brownouts. Consider running these appliances during off-peak hours, such as early morning or late evening. Purchasing a voltage regulator can help protect sensitive electronics from damage due to voltage fluctuations. Choose a voltage regulator that is appropriately sized for the devices you want to protect. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation and use. A voltage regulator is an electrical device that maintains a constant voltage level. It protects electronic devices from voltage spikes and brownouts. It is important to choose a voltage regulator with a power rating that is adequate for the devices you want to protect. Consider consulting with an electrician to assess the electrical system and recommend appropriate solutions. An electrician can identify potential problems and provide advice on how to prevent brownouts. They can also install a dedicated circuit for sensitive electronics. Surge protectors are designed to protect electronic devices from voltage spikes. However, They do not protect against brownouts. Uninterruptible power supplies, or UPS, provide backup power during a power outage or brownout. They can keep electronic devices running for a short period of time, allowing you to save your work and shut down safely. Understanding the causes of brownouts and taking steps to prevent them can help protect electronic devices and ensure a stable power supply. Remember that lights are more sensitive to voltage fluctuations than other devices. If the lights are dimming, it is a sign that the voltage is dropping. If the voltage drop is severe enough, it can damage sensitive electronics. Reducing the load in the electrical system, avoiding using large appliances during peak hours, and using a voltage regulator can help prevent brownouts and protect your electronics. If brownouts are a frequent occurrence, it is important to consult with an electrician to assess the electrical system and recommend appropriate solutions. The electrician can check the wiring, the electrical panel, and the grounding system to ensure that they are in good condition. They can also install a dedicated circuit for sensitive electronics.